tilt brush tutorial part 2. Let's get into some more tricks. So first of all, like I said in the first video, you can always shift how large or small your area of creation is by using the grab buttons. You can rotate this from any angle, change the perspective, and it shows you how large scale-wise it'll be. You can also raise and lower the height of the field that you're working on. So if you want to make something that's on the same scale or about the same level as your desk. So let's get into how to duplicate, how to go backwards, how to export. I'm just going to make a very basic kind of sketch. So I'll bring in the mirror tool because I really like that. Symmetry. Go into my brushes. And I'll make something fun using maybe some rainbow kind of a tool. Change the size of my strokes. It's a really nice animated tool. Let's say that I have certain elements that I want to duplicate. So, for instance, go into that dot effect, make something really small. Like that kind of a spiral. So if I wanted to take this spiral and start multiplying at different depths throughout my artwork, I could. So if I go into the selection tool, so now I've got this dot spiral selected. Group that selection, so now I can move this separately as an object. So I'll take this, again I can change the height of that little spiral, and if I went into my select tool, so I've got that selected, you'll notice as I'm selecting it that on my right controller a little duplicating file starts highlighting. It looks like two pieces of paper stacked, and if I press that button, the lower button on your controller, you'll see it creates a duplicate. And I can do that as many times as I'd like. So again, if I select that again, hold it down until you're highlighting it so it glows, and then press it, it'll duplicate it. The undo button is on your left controller. It's that arrow backwards button, the lower button. So you press that, keep pressing undo, and eventually I'll get back to having my one item. So that's how you undo anything. If I press that button enough times, this whole, thing would disappear. Now I can select all of these, group those, and now when I go to select them, there it is. Now I've duplicated that grouped selection. So that's pretty cool. We haven't really used the straight edge tool, but I recommend exploring that. The eraser will erase if you want to do a quick erase. Good for spot editing. But so now that I have these, I'll go back into my selection tool, and I can start to move these around. I'll use one of these raised holes, so it's going to mirror it. Great for making something solid. Like a solid form. So these could be eyes or something, and then I could have some kind of a smile. I don't know, something like that. Ooh, the flower petals. I'm getting distracted. This is a great one for making organic tree-like shape. This flower petal tool. You can have kind of like wisps of growth coming out. Changing the size gives you a lot of really good possibilities here. You can just grow these out as much as you want, and since it's mirrored, you can have some really interesting forms going on. Now it's got a nice organic plant-like feel to it. These tendrils. And I always like to look at my work from all angles before I export it. Sometimes blow it up to size and stare at it. It's so amazing creating in VR. You're not constricted by any kind of material or physical boundaries, and that's pretty freeing, I think, as an artist. So once I've got something that I'm happy with, let's go into how I would export this. So go down here. So first, if I press Save Sketch, I can take a picture of it. Now I've got it saved to my files, to my gallery inside of my sketchbook. So this is my sketchbook. That's my sketch. I can go to loading media and it'll pull it up anytime. It looks like we are going to have to make a Sketchfab profile. So you can create a new account via Sketchfab. So you can link it with your Gmail account. Give yourself a unique username. So then go back into Tiltbrush once you've made your Sketchfab account. Now that I've made my Sketchfab account, I'm going to go ahead and I've saved this as a file on the device. So I've got a saved sketch. So now when I open up Tiltbrush, I'll find this. So now I'm going to go into upload, and I'm going to upload this to my Sketchfab account. I'll say exporting. Great. Exit Tiltbrush to finish publishing. And then in your browser, it'll say loading 3D model. Give it a second. And there is the weirdness that I made. I can change the angle. I made it from this angle. Looks like some kind of weird organ or something like that. So now if you go into edit settings, you can save VR form or whatever you want to call it. Give a description. You can tag it, etc. There it is. It's a draft right now, but it'll be deleted unless you publish it. So if I press publish, when you share it as a link, you can share it as a Sketchfab link, or you can take a picture of it, whatever's easiest. But that's the basic process of exporting.